Wednesday afternoon. This is Michael Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Just wanted to give you a look at the latest on the potential weekend snow system and give you my latest thoughts on how things are going. Here's a look at the kind of generic, way too early map that I posted yesterday. At the time I posted this, most of the data was still to our south. It was clear to me and to some that the storm was coming farther north than what a lot of data had a couple of days ago. I think I told you in a video a couple of days ago, I showed you the GFS trends and how it had been all over the place, and that at the time it had the snowstorm buried deep in the south, and I did not think that was what was going to happen. It just did not fit the pattern. And now all the data, including the GFS, is beginning to adjust. So right now, I would leave this the same, other than maybe move things a county row or so north. But I'll put out an official forecast maybe tomorrow, depending on how things are going. But this was what my original call was yesterday, kind of my way too early call. So let's take a look at what data's doing right now. So here's the latest run of the GFS, the 12Z run, and it's been interesting to watch it now catch up. It had this heaviest band of snow buried all the way down here in northern Georgia, northern Alabama, northern Mississippi, southern Arkansas, and that does happen on occasion. But this particular setup just was not right for it. It had a Sorry, I had a brief interruption there. What I was saying is that GFS run and a couple of the other models, when they were suppressed and everything way south, had a 1053 millibar Arctic high pressure settling into our region. The lowest barometric pressure that Indianapolis has ever recorded was in 1977. I think February of 77 was a 1048 millibar. Is it possible that that could be beaten? Absolutely. Could a 1053 happen? Absolutely. It was not going to happen with this setup. The model data just was overdone with that, and that was kind of easy to see. So now we're seeing, as data is starting to catch up, as the storm gets closer and things begin to set themselves up, data is beginning to realize that that suppression was not going to happen and is not going to happen. So the GFS has come considerably farther north, and as we take a look at and zoom in here on Indiana, it's got Madison County picking up 3 to 4 inches of snow. That's not too hard to disagree with at this point. It's GFS kind of has come up to where my map yesterday was. So I think some of the data that I'll show you, and I'm going to have to do this quick because I got a meeting here in a minute. But I think the European has the snow shield too wide. I think the Canadian has the snow shield too wide. You'll see that narrow down a little bit. They also tend to overdo the heaviest snowfall amounts, like down here in Kentucky, where it's got them picking up 25 inches of snow in eastern Kentucky. Um, I don't think that's going to happen. So some of that will catch itself up. But this is where the GFS is now. It has come 2 states north with this snow shield. So I think it's actually kind of on the right track right now. And it's kind of in line with where my forecast was yesterday. But I'll show you 2 other models and then I'm going to have to get off of here. Here's the 12Z Canadian, and you can see how wide the snow shield is. It's got heavy snow coming all the way back into Chicago and northern Illinois. I don't think that's going to happen. It has the heaviest snow band actually coming right through central Indiana, both sides of I-70, with 10 and 11, 12 inches of snow. Again, I think that those amounts are going to be more southern Indiana, northern Kentucky, but I am showing you what the data has. Here is the 6Z uh, European. This is at a 10 to 1 instead of doing the Kuchera ratio, and I think this is actually pretty good. I think with northern shift, this is probably as far as it would go. Um, I'll show you the Kuchera amounts, but this I think is more realistic here with a widespread, you know, 4 to 6 inches across central Indiana, and with amounts up to maybe 10 inches in southern Indiana. probably from Bloomington and south could be looking at a 7 to 10 inch. That, in my opinion, is about right. And then northern Kentucky, yeah, it could pick up a foot of snow. This, I think, is probably the right rendering. If I were going to go with a model, this one would be the one I would go with. But if we switch this to the Kuchera method here, and then it increases the snowfall amounts considerably, brings us, almost a foot of snow up here into central Indiana, most of southern Indiana picking up a foot of snow. And that I don't think is realistic. I think the 10 to 1 was probably more realistic. Last is the National Weather Service blend of models. And this, I think, is also a pretty good rendering. It might be underdone maybe in parts of Kentucky, but um, again, it's got a general 4 to 6 inches across central Indiana, with higher amounts from Bloomington and south. I really think that's about right, and I think this encompasses as much north shift as I think these areas up in here actually will probably be lighter up into northwest Indiana, unless the low tracks a little bit harder, where we get some lake effect snow into northern Indiana. That's going to be their best chance to pick up heavier snow with this system. The last component I'll show you, and then I'm getting off of here. Let me zoom out here, is the ice. This is going to be a devastating ice storm for people who down south who thought they were getting a big snow a couple of days ago. This is going to be a devastating ice storm all the way from Texas out to the Carolinas. Half inch to 1 inch, freezing rain amounts. That's just catastrophic. And so, this does have some ice coming up into southern Indiana. I'm not so sure about that, but this will have an overrunning component, but I think that's mostly going to happen over in eastern Kentucky. I think that ice could come farther north than what this model has. But that, I don't think Indiana's right now going to be dealing with ice. It's going to be a matter of where the heaviest snow sets up and how heavy the snow actually is. With frigid air coming in behind it, one of two things could happen. It either can kind of dry the northern end of the system up a little bit. I don't think it goes away, but that could keep the amounts lower. Or it really can fluff the snow up and make the amounts way higher. The dry air, the Arctic air, that's going to help facilitate this whole thing, also can be a wrench in its own setup. So we're going to have to see how that plays out, and that's why I kind of went with the 10 to 1 with the European when I showed you that. So I'll update you as this gets a little closer, but I just wanted you to have in mind what my thoughts are right now. And again, right now, maybe I would pull this a county road north or so, pull the heavier snow a little bit farther north. But overall, right now, I think, if I changed anything, it'd just be the amounts in these boxes. So this is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Lastly, as always, donations are way down. I did get a generous donation the other day. I very much appreciate that. But donations are way down. I've got 3 sponsors that I'm maybe getting ready to lose. So if you can support this page, go to the top of the Facebook page or the X page and get the information there, and please donate to the page. So this is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates, and I will update you if things look any different. Thank you.